Let's celebrate Kwanzaa, the way of Egun Omude.
That's Kinara. Let's gather around the Kinara. Hey, that's Kinara. Light the candles on the Kinara. Hey, that's Kinara. Shake the ring all day by the Kinara. Hey, that's Kinara. Life was way around the Kinara. Hey, here's to Kwanzaa. All my people in Baba Karenga. The Kikomecha, Umoja. Has the unity up and celebrate us. Harambe. Put your fist up. Chest is 7 times so we can hear ya. Harambe, 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 Harambe. Come on, the Kinara. Still just play all day by the Kinara. Hey, the Kinara. Jesus was displayed by the Kinara. Hey, the Kinara. Lift every voice and sing by the Kinara. Hey, the Kinara. Feel like an ever knowing by the Kinara.
DB, why you do that again?
Moving smarter, the people working harder. Use your data for your people's knowledge. We are louder, so stand strong in your power. Yeah, louder, louder. Don't be sing that Kinara.
The Kinara, let's gather around the Kinara. Hey, the Kinara, light the candles on the Kinara. Hey, the Kinara, shake your ring all day by the Kinara. Hey, the Kinara, drummers play around the Kinara.
I wanna light the candle this time. Last year I was a little bit shy. Passing the torch to the children now. Test me and see that I memorize. Celebrate our own way now. Valuing our own thing now. Dollar reciprocates now. My ancestors will bring now.
The Kinara, in Google Taba, the Kinara. Hey, say Umoja, mamas and babas teach by the Kinara. You better pay attention and sense to speak while around the Kinara. Shh, point and listen. I go on there by the Kinara. Here's to Kwanzaa, all my people in Baba Karenga. The Kikomecha, Umoja, has the unity up and celebrate us. Harambe, put your fist up. Chest is 7 times so we can hear ya. Harambe, 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 Harambe. Come on, that's Kinara. Still just play all day by the Kinara.
Do it, y'all. Man, I love my people. Our people are so beautiful. So beautiful. Peace and love to everyone under the sound of my voice. I see the Maadian family coming in. Habari Ghani to everyone under the sound of my voice. Abibi Fahodiye. Amanina Amandala. Peace and power. Let's share the show, family. Let's get the views up. You know, today is Ujama. Today is Ujama. Today is Ujama. Cooperative Economics Ashe, the fourth day of Kwanzaa. So Hotep, I see the Maadian families in the building. I want to take some time to acknowledge some of you. I see that we have the Queen Mother, a beautiful mind, is in the building. She says, peace and love, everyone. Peace to you, Queen Mother. And thank you so much for being here with us every day for Kwanzaa. And I don't know, the ancestors moved me to do this. Usually I go live like once, the first day of Kwanzaa, and that's it. But I really have been moved to go live every day. And this is the first time I've ever done this, go live every day. And namely, I'm sitting here thinking about the people who don't have family who celebrate Kwanzaa. So you may celebrate Kwanzaa, but then you don't have family or anyone around you who does, right? So we don't know people's circumstances. So I think that it's important to create and to have spaces like this where you can come in and celebrate, even when other people in your immediate circle, in your community is not celebrating. Ashe, I see Queen Mother Althea Maddox is in the building. She said, good morning, Queen. I love it. This is great. Peace to you, Queen Mother. Thank you so much for being here. I see El Kibalan Mindset. He said, I love this. Peace and love to your family. I see my brother Richardson is in the building. Peace and blessings. It was good seeing you at the Kwanzaa event, brother, on the 18th. I see Baba Gerald Meeks is in the building. Peace to Baba, Bomani, Warrior, the Elder Warrior, the MZ, Mki, Bomani, the Elder Warrior is in the building. He says, peace, Dr. Maat. Hotep to you, Baba. I see brother John Taylor. He said, Habari Ghani family, Ujama. I think earlier today I said Ujima. I meant to say Ujama. Oh, my bad, family. All right, who else do I see in the building? Uh-oh. My E5 twins are in the building. They say a Bibi Fahodiye and Ujama, African family. And so today, family, we're going to be talking about Ujama. And you can head on over here to the official Kwanzaa website to learn more about Kwanzaa in the Nguzo Saba. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I have a very, very special guest in the building, brother Greg MacKenzie out of Alkebulan Village in Detroit is here with me today. And family, we're going to go in, man. I know you all have been hearing about the 35-foot kanara that was erected in Detroit. And so the Alkebulan Village was a huge part of that project. And I said, you know what? Today we're talking about Ujamaa, right? Cooperative economics. Yesterday we talked about Ujama, collective work and responsibility. But when I think about this project, brother Greg, when I think about this project incorporated all of the Nguzo Saba principles when you think about it. So when you think about it, it incorporated unity. You all had to come together to unify in order to create this 35-foot kanara, Ashe. And then Kuji Chagalia, you all were self-determined about doing it, Ashe. Then Ujima, you all had to work together, collective work and responsibility, right? That had to take place in order for you to pull this off. Then cooperative economics, right? And then we move into Kuumba and Imani. And I feel like I'm forgetting another one, y'all. Tell me in the chat. I forgot one. Tell me in the chat, family. Which one did I forget? Kuumba is creativity. So they had to be creative. I said, oh, Nia, purpose. Come on, purpose. And so when I think about this project, family, I think about all of the Nguzo Saba. So I'm going to bring him on in literally 2 minutes. But I wanted us right now to reflect really quickly on Ujima, cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. And when he says our own, okay, to build our own, I always tell you, family, that having melanated skin is not good for me. Ashe, I support African conscious, or some people say Black conscious stores and shops and businesses, because all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? All skin folk ain't kinfolk. You got some people who look like us and don't care about building and maintaining Black communities, Ashe. So I like to support. It ain't no just buy Black. It's buy Black conscious, support Black conscious businesses or African conscious business, Ashe. So Ujima cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. So that means you don't get the money and run, right? You get the money and you pour back into your community, Ashe. All right. And we see the symbol for Ujima, and on the website it says this consists of shared work and wealth. So the fourth principle of Ujama, cooperative economics, is essentially a commitment to the practice of shared social wealth and the work necessary to achieve it. Wait a minute. Does this go against capitalism, brother Greg? This doesn't sound like capitalism to me, because capitalism says let a few get rich and keep the many poor, right? But that's not African. So it says right here, the fourth principles of Ujama is essentially a commitment to the practice of shared social wealth and the work necessary to achieve it. It says Ujima literally means familyhood. So we're all in this thing together. Okay, we're pulling our resources together. We're building each other. We're building our families. We're building our communities together. It says economic self-reliance. Ujama also stresses self-reliance in the building, strengthening, and controlling of the economics of our own community, right? So that means circulating the dollar within our community, not going crazy when Christmas comes around and you out here, but you buying all the Amazon stuff, and we buy Amazon, we buy all this, going to black businesses, black conscious businesses, and supporting those businesses, Ashe, and circulating the dollar within our businesses. So it says the assumption here is that we must seize and maintain the initiative in all that is ours. Lastly, family, it says the obligation of generosity. It says also inherent in Ujamaa is the stress and obligation of generosity, especially to the poor and vulnerable. It says in the book of Ani, we are taught that generosity is its own reciprocal award. Ashe, Ashe. And so peace to all the people under my voice. I see Dr. Queen Reese Johnson is in the building. Peace to you, Dr. Queen. Let me see who else. Sister Robin is in the building. Ty 313 is in the building. He said he from Detroit too. So all right, family, we got him. We got it in the bill. I'm telling you, we got Brother Greg. I'm getting ready to bring him on now. Oh, Goddess, I can't forget about Goddess Yemi Yash. She says, Habari Ghani family, Ujama family, make sure that you share this discussion. Share this discussion. I'm going to drop the link to this website in the chat. Share this discussion. Let's get the views up. All right, because today we're going to be talking with Brother Greg of Al Kibalan Village to discuss this, family. Look at this. Detroit unveils 30-foot tall Kwanzaa Kinara in campus. I'm going to say Martius. That's how I want to pronounce it. But brother Greg might pronounce it differently. You know, I have that Baltimore accent, Brother Greg. So peace and love to you, Brother Greg. Welcome to the platform. How are you, King?
Peace. I'm doing great. Habari Ghani.
Habari Ghani to you. Habari Ghani.
Ujamaa. This is one of my favorite principles of Kwanzaa, but they're all so very important for our community. So I'm just happy to be here to join the family virtually to have this conversation about the world's largest Kwanzaa Kinara.
Absolutely. And I first of all want to salute you and your team, your organization, for making this happen. I know that you told me that the idea, and I know you're going to walk us through how this came about, but I want to salute you all for doing this. And I was actually talking to one of my colleagues last night. I said, man, I want to fly out to Detroit just to see it, just to see it, and take a picture, beside it, and to pray, to meditate, to give thanks, for this wonderful project that you all were a part of. And I give thanks for Dr. Maulana Karanga and his beautiful divine compliment, Mama Tia Moyo, for putting me in touch with you. I give thanks to them because I reached out to them last night. It's actually my colleague who sent this to me, and he said, did you hear about this? And I said, Dr. Karanga mentioned it, but I didn't know what he was talking about. But he mentioned something about it kind of fast, because anybody that talked to Doc, they know when he talked on the phone was sometimes he talk a little fast. And so I know that he mentioned it. And so let me get rid of this down the bottom. And so I didn't quite know what Dr. Karanga was speaking about. And then my colleague sent me this article, and I read every word last night. And in the article, you will mention, Brother Greg, your organization, Al Kibalan Village, was mentioned. And I said, oh man, I need to reach out to Dr. Karanga to see if he can put me in touch with someone. Called you today. You said, look, I can do it. I got some things going on. I got to do it now, but I got you, sister. And you came on the platform. So I want to begin by asking you this, Brother Greg. Tell us about Al-Kibalan Village. Tell us, I want to know when it was founded, why it was founded. I want to know some of the extraordinary things that you all did in Detroit and beyond Detroit. And so let's just talk about Al-Kibalan Village for a second.
Word. So let's start there then. So Al-Kibalan Village was founded in 1978 by Marvis Cofield and a group of black belt martial artists who were all in martial arts systems where nobody black was really in charge of any resources financially that were coming from it or anything of substance, right, that's coming out of it except for trophies from winning tournaments. And so they realized on a gladiator level, they were being exploited, a second round of exploitation by a group of people who would seek to use them to get notoriety in the martial arts world. And so Al-Kibalan Village is a story of self-determination of Kuji Chagalia in the space of martial arts, where folks extracted themselves from these other than black martial art institutions and created a martial arts umbrella for themselves to go out and fight the other competitors. And so they ultimately beat them out of the business, technically, is the final analysis. And martial arts remained as the foundation of the activities of Al-Kibalan Village. And so today, Al-Kibalan Village is very much still a youth development project using martial arts as the basis to teach self-respect, self-control, self-discipline, and of course, self-defense.
So what about this? Do you all, when you say martial arts, what type of martial arts do you all teach and promote at the Al-Kibalan Village?
So it's an original martial arts system, the Al-Kiba-Do, which is the African way of martial arts. We know Al-Kibalan comes to us, the name from the research of Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen, as a very ancient name for the continent. And so in thinking in terms of creating an original martial arts style, at the time when everything was in formation, there was a tremendous historian connected to the village at that time named Kalindi Iyi, who is now an ancestor, but he, being very close to Dr. Ben and Dr. Ben's work, suggested the name Al-Kibalan and Al-Kiba-Do to the Federation, and ultimately that became the name and the style. And so it's basically the African way of martial arts.
Okay.
Utilizing,
go ahead, brother. I'm listening. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yep, utilizing the Ma'at guiding principles as philosophy, as well as the Nguzo Saba, utilizing Swahili as the language. And in 1978, to use Swahili was tremendously cutting edge and revolutionary, and utilizing original martial arts techniques that they would then develop from other martial arts styles that they had either observed historically from reliefs in the Beni Hassan and other places in the ancient world in Africa, and some other things that they would originally develop on their own to complete a full African martial arts system developed here in America.
Okay, and so when I thought about martial arts, the first thing I thought about was capoeira. I don't know if I butchered it, but a lot of people, when they think about like African martial arts or like that, they say capoeira, which is something they say they used during the Haitian Revolution. So I was just thinking when you said that, I was wondering if you all taught that, and it's another one that I think it's called Tai Chi. I want to say it's called Tai Chi, another form of martial arts that a lot of brothers in the African-centered community practice and teach. And so you're saying this is its own, someone actually created this form of martial arts that's rooted in African culture and tradition. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, a group of people came together to do it. And that group was led by Marvis Cofield, who is still the CEO of Al-Kibalan Village. So yeah, there is some capoeira lessons that happen at the village as well. Capoeira Angola, which is, that martial arts form that survived through our enslavement as a disguised as a dance, but was a way in which we sharpened and practiced how to defend ourselves and continue to do so. And then I want to lift up Tamarian Martial Arts Institute. Tamarian Martial Arts is the school that ultimately evolved from Ahati Kalindi Iyi's work. And those brothers are still practicing a very ancient and African form of martial arts as well. And so there's a rich martial arts, African history, tradition in Detroit. Now, Keebalan Village is a part of that.
Okay, and I always call them my E5 twins because I don't like to butcher their names because his accent. So it says, have Baba heard of the VSK martial arts that came out of New York with Soki Little John Davis? He says they African also. Have you heard of them?
I have not, but I would love to learn more about it. See, that's the beauty of it. Is so much of this around in pockets of our diaspora community, where we just carve out ways to survive and identify ourselves with who we are and use it as a lifestyle. So Keebalan is one, I'm sure, of thousands.
Okay. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you also told me that Al Keebalan Village brings speakers in because you and I were talking this morning and I was telling you about my platform. And I said, I bring on a lot of elders and I mentioned Baba Ashwal Kwesi. And you said, oh, yeah. You said, we just had him, I think you said a couple of months ago, he came to Detroit. So you all bring in speakers as well, right?
Sure. Just on December 7th and 8th, Ashwal and Mary Roy Kwesi were here for a history lecture called Dr. Ben Said Wake Up. And we had Nubia Morinike, who's a local Kushologist here in Detroit. And we had Dr. Frederick Monderson from New York. The four of them came and gave a powerful call to action 2-day lecture series. So, our Keebalan is just involved in activities to continue to strengthen and uplift the community in any way possible.
Okay. And so you go, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So like you said, martial arts. I think you said you brought in speakers and then you also mentioned, didn't you say you all had some after school programs that you offer the community? Could you speak to that also, Brother Greg?
Absolutely. So what the organization fundamentally is a youth development organization. And the goal is to take children between 5 and 17 years old and just teach them what we can using martial arts as a basis and a pipeline to who they are culturally. And we do that through, again, the after school programs and the weekend programs, something called ACE Academy. ACE is an acronym for African Centered Education. This is the stuff that our children don't really get to learn until they get to college.
That's right.
And so we want to expose them early because the more they know about who they are, the more relevant the information that they're learning is. If you think math is just a bunch of old white men that doesn't relate to you, it doesn't have any footing in your life. But if you can see experiential math, like the way Dr. Kim Yamoyo and others who work with us teach it, then you can start to see math and how math is most everything in life. And then it's more practical and then you do better in it.
Okay, absolutely. And I want to take some time to acknowledge Brother Akil Parker. I believe he's a professor at either Temple University or Lincoln University, but he teaches what he calls hystematics. So I would love to connect the two of you. And so maybe he could bring that program out there to a Keebalan Village. And also, I have a program called Conscious Ingenuity, which utilizes STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and agriculture, and mathematics. So I have a double A, right? So STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and agriculture, and mathematics to build character, confidence, and capabilities. And so I would love to definitely bring that curriculum out there to the people, in Detroit. And so currently the program is being deployed in several schools in Baltimore and a couple of African-centered schools, the Huru Academy and the Kamoyo Shule Africana. We're getting ready to take the program abroad to Ghana. So salute to the teacher over there, Brother Frank. Will be in Accra and also in Cape Coast, implementing the Conscious Ingenuity program. And then we'll be down in Haiti, teaching them how to utilize solar power energy to power their village and to create filters that are powered by solar energy that can filter their water. So that's the type of stuff. So we definitely gotta wrap, Brother Greg,
let's do it
and get some things going together. But thank you so much for that. And how can we support Al Keebalan Village? Do you have a website that we can go to donate? How do we support you?
Sure. So Al Keebalan Village has a website, and ironically, we're looking at our 45th anniversary on March 27th. This organization was born March 27th, 1978. So on March 27, 2023, it'll be 45 years of uninterrupted service to the community in this capacity. And so, right there is the website. The donate button is very prominent. And you can go there, you can give whatever amount you wish. to help us continue to do what we're doing. And that's saving these babies one brick, one building, one block at a time. And so our Keep Alive Village has a triad of most things. Most of the alphabets have a triad like look, listen, and learn, mental, moral, martial, advocate, activate, and articulate. Like this is a part of the philosophy that goes along with the martial arts system. But our development triad is something new that we've come up with. And that development triad is youth development, business development, and community development. And so it is up under the community development arm of our triad that we got involved with this 30-foot tall Kwanzaa Kinara. And we could talk more about that in a little bit, but yeah, I'm looking at the website as we're scrolling through it here, so you all get to see some of what we're about. If you go back down and mentioning the STEAM project, can you go past this page a little bit up more?
Up more.
This Fresh Air Please video, this is from a STEAM project that we did right before the pandemic, where we were looking at what is the air quality in the neighborhood. And so the youth learned about air quality index. And so my promise to them was that if you participate in this project, you'll get to be a part of a rap music video. And so what they didn't know was the rap music video was going to be a report out of what they learned in the project. And so this rap music video is the fruit of that project, where young people between the ages of 10 and 14 are going to explain to you what air quality index is and what the quality of the air around their neighborhood is in a rap music video. So if you have a chance to, on our website, check our young people out. We had Nino Stacks, which is a producer. He was local then. He's moved to Atlanta now. He's also my, how do you say it? If it's my niece and he's her husband, that makes him my whatever in-law.
Like your nephew-in-law. He's married to your niece.
Got it, nephew-in-law.
Your nephew. Yeah, your nephew.
So, I mean, but he's a prolific producer. He put this beat to their work. And we had Boudin from Detroit, who's an incredible filmmaker, shoot the video. And we found out that most of the factories in the area actually had decent air quality, but there was one that didn't. And so we started to go after them. And then the pandemic happened. And it sort of derailed that active motion, because the STEAM project was going to transfer into some practical activism based on who we found out might be violators. And so we're going to pick that back up as we get into 2023 here.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad that you all, I give thanks for this, this Fresh Air project, because as you already know, and a lot of the family who's watching, we read the book, The Color of Law. Brother T-Wolo and myself, we read and discussed it with the Read Book Club. We all read and discussed the book, The Color of Law, by Richard Rothstein. And he talks about how, the government, the federal, state, and local government segregated America, and through zoning practices and racial ordinances, isolated the Black community in areas with polluted air. We were always in industrial air. We near dumps, near industrial plants where the air quality is poor. So then you wonder why there's a disproportionate amount of Black people who had cancer and all these other ailments. Well, a huge part of that is the air pollution, the air quality. And so anyway, brother, I'm so glad that you got the children involved in that. And I don't know if you all tapped into the history when you all went through that and was teaching them why, why is the air so polluted in the Black communities when you measure the air quality in our neighborhoods as opposed to other neighborhoods? Why is the air quality different? Why is it poor? And a huge part of that is the history. You got to go back to when they used policies to literally segregate and isolate, the Black and destroy Black communities. And so anyway, brother, I salute you all for this. I can't wait to watch it. And so family, make sure that you donate. go to right here. I put it in the chat, lkbelongvillage.com. Go to the website, family. Check out all of the wonderful things and wonderful projects that they're doing. Make sure that you click the donate button, right? Because so often do we talk. And I always tell people, support with your resources, right? Not with your mouth. Like, that's great. That's great to say, oh, Brother Greg, you all are doing a good job, and then get off of this live stream. But family, let's support with our actual resources. And so what I'm going to do, Brother Greg, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to donate live on air, because I believe that you should not ask people to do things that you don't do, right? That you don't do yourself. So live on air. Live on air. Here it is. I'm gonna, I gotta put all my name. I just put Dr. Maat and send you a little something, and you can verify with the people that you received it. I just don't want to put, of course, my information on air, my financial information, but I don't believe in asking people to do something that I would not do. So I'm donating to you all live on air. Love what you guys are doing. And also, I'm a believer in reciprocity. That's my favorite principle of my aunt. All right, so let me see. I hit the next button. So you can pay with Google Pay. All right, family, I'm looking at it. You can donate. It says donate with GPay or pay with Google Pay, or you can just use a card. All right, so let me grab my card. Hold on one sec, Brother Greg.
No problem.
Live on air. I didn't expect to do this.
So I appreciate that. I mean, hey, we got to do what we say we do, and I respect that. Stepping up to the table, to the plate, rather, and making a donation right here on the spot. That's real.
All right, I got it. Okay. All right, so it says, okay, credit card into my CVC. There we go. And let's pray that it goes through. Let's pray it goes through, Brother Greg.
They are very sharp with their financial tools these days. If it's not gonna go through, it'll say it right there on the spot.
I'm looking now. I forgot to click the I am not a robot. Y'all. Hold on. Let me share my screen again. Hold on. So it says right here, and you should have gotten a notification, Brother Greg. It says right here. Bam. Thank you for your generous donation. So, family, take a moment out to send some money, family. Send some money. $10, $15, $20, $30, $100, all of it, any whatever you can send. And then some of y'all probably say, Dr. Maat, is Kwanzaa right now, and I bought all this Sawadi, bought all these gifts, $10, $20, whatever you can spare, family, okay? All right, so Brother Greg, let's move into what you all did. Detroit unveils 30-foot tall Kwanzaa Kinara in campus. Do you pronounce this Martius?
They say Campus Martius. They just run
Martius.
Like
so it's not Martius, it's Martius.
It technically stands for War Camp. This is in the center of the re-emerging Detroit, and so this is our resident historian Ujamaa Jordan, when he took our youth on a tour, started in this area of the city, Campus Martius. This is where the coordinate system for the city is developed, the north, east, west, and south streets that govern how the city is navigated. And so this was a new area. It used to be called the I forget, the Cadillac something bus. This is where the bus depot was. But when Detroit started to become revitalized, and I put that in italics and quotations, it was named Campus Martius. Campus Martius, obviously a very Roman, Greek type of connotation here, and it means war camp. So, but the bottom line is, this is the city's center, and the city becoming increasingly white, but known as a black city. This downtown is becoming more and more populated with white Detroiters and visitors to Detroit that are white people. Many black people don't feel that downtown has anything to do with them, and that there's no us in this space. And so to put this Kinara, this red, black, and green 30 feet into the air, for us was an important statement of we are here. We are Detroit. If you're talking about 700 some thousand population, 80% of that is well over 500,000 black folks. And so there's a Christmas tree that you can see behind it that is nearly 100 feet tall. There's a Hanukkah menorah that's over 26 feet tall that are celebrated in this landscape. A Kwanzaa Kinara at that scale is more than appropriate. And so there it stands now, and for all time, as far as we're concerned, we're going to erect it year after year.
What do you mean erected? So you all put it up and then you're taking it down, or it's going to be there all year round?
No, it was designed to be disassembled. So it was engineered. Let me go to the beginning. Let me go all the way to the beginning.
Okay.
So this idea came from an unlikely source of sorts. The councilman of District 3, Scott Benson, came to the founder of Alkeewaline Village, Marvis Cofield, and said, how could we, do you think it would be possible to put a Kwanzaa Kinara on the scale of the other holiday celebrations in campus marches? And Mr. Cofield said, well, of course we can. We built the pyramids. We can build anything. And so then he called me, and he said, Greg, what do you think it would take to do something like this? Could you investigate it? And so then I reached out to a team of architects and engineers. My first call was to Brian Cook of Develop Architecture, who's a black architect who works with us on some community development projects. As I said, this extends out of our community development part of our triad. And I said, Brian, if I send you a picture of a Kinara, you think you could scale it up to 30 feet and investigate with me what it would take to make something like this a physical reality? So within a few days, Brian had a sketch, and we had a rough estimate of like what it would take to really make this a reality. The very next call was to a structural engineer so that we can get the right materials and the right bolts and the right everything to make sure that this could really stand in the public sphere safely. And that was a black man, again, by the name of Juan Sneed of JMS Engineering. And so we began to really work through the challenging details of what it would take to make this into a physical reality. Now, in all of that conversing, we said, well, who's going to pay for it? Because this is going to cost quite a bit of money. And so we reached out to the Downtown Detroit Partnership, because we found out that group, in fact, provided the financing for the menorah and provided the financing for the Christmas tree. Not that they directly paid for it out of their own budget, but they aggregated philanthropic dollars to put those other two in place. And so we said, can we get the same financing program for the Kinara? They said, of course, we will support the same way we support the other holiday traditions and make this a part of that. And then we hit the ground running. They said we'll finance the development costs, the design costs up front while we wait to raise the money to build the thing. So with that in place, we started really developing and designing this. This all started in December of 2022. And so at this point, we're at about December of 2021. I'm sorry.
I was just about to say, wow, that was fast. I was going to say, brother, that was fast.
No, right. That would have been impossible.
Right.
But December of 2021. And at this point in the conversation where we're working with the engineers and architects, we're about February, about March. And so we wanted to go into production by June or July. We didn't really get into fabrication on this until about October, because we had to learn a lot. There's no precedent. No one had ever done this. Many of the engineering questions had to be answered through investigation, through trial and error in some instances, and all kinds of things. So this was a very long and extended process to arrive at what you see finally here, which is a hybrid of steel and wood. It started out going to be a completely steel structure. It would have been 452 pieces, 31,000 pounds. It grew to be a ginormous thing that would have cost us a $250,000. When we changed some of the building material requirements around, made some different selections for how we would put the shell together, but keep a steel frame underneath it, we landed on a cost more close to a range of what we originally thought would be 75. We ended up at about $100,000 for the total of this. And so,
okay, that was
this, in this moment, it still is not completely paid for. And so different groups are holding different parts of the Ujamaa of this together. Our Kibalan village has gone into its own budget and put some monies to support this. Downtown Detroit Partnership is into its own budget and has put in some money to support this. There has been some money raised, but not the whole 100,000. And so this is truly an embodiment of all of the principles of Kwanzaa in practice.
Absolutely. And it said right here, you said all of the money wasn't raised, but it's saying, and there's no but I'm looking at the article. They were saying they threw McDonald's and some of these other corporations, they threw their names around in the audio.
McDonald's gave $1,000. I want to just say that for the record. $1,000.
Okay, and I'm glad that
Target was the first supporter. Yeah, Target was the first supporter on board that made a financial contribution. The Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History made a financial contribution. Detroit Pistons, Skillman Foundation, and WC3D all came in and made financial contributions to this. And we still have a ways to go. We want to get this thing fully financed and paid for, and be in a position to store it when the season is done and bring it back with a couple of revamps and revisions, as all things should continue to improve when we bring it out next year.
Okay. And so let me ask you this. So this is, would you say that Al-Kibalan Village really spearheaded this
Yes.
project? Because when you know how the news is, when you read it on the news, it made it seem like it was a collaborative effort between Al-Kibalan and in corporate America. But you're saying you all actually spearheaded this project.
Absolutely. Al-Kibalan was the lead organization, and as the only group involved that is a community organization, it had to be the one to take the helm. The Motor City Kwanzaa Kanara is actually the property of Al-Kibalan Village. It belongs, and as such, since it belongs to Al-Kibalan Village, it belongs to the people. So this is not the city of Detroit's Kinara. This is not Downtown Detroit Partnership's Kinara. This is Al-Kibalan Village's Kinara on behalf of the people of the city of Detroit.
Absolutely. And so the councilman, what was his name again? I think they did mention him in the article.
Councilman Scott Benson.
Okay, so he was the one who proposed. This was his idea.
This was his idea.
Okay, and let me ask you this, because there were some folks, I'm just asking some hard questions. There were some folks that had some questions. They said they wanted to know if this was an attempt, because downtown Detroit is being gentrified, and was this an attempt to placate Black people of Detroit? What is your response to that?
Yeah, so I mean, at the time when this came out, and when Scott Benson brought this to Marvis Cofield, my thought about the project was, this is an opportunity to raise the awareness of Kwanzaa for people who don't have knowledge of it, who don't practice, and who don't understand it. Later on, the museum would make a decision to not do the 7 days of Kwanzaa as they had done historically for years, and that would cause a huge ripple and make it seem that the Kinara was a way to, give a token for the museum not doing the 7 days. The notion of placating Black people for the gentrification of Detroit, I don't know. It's entirely possible, but the way that it landed with me when they brought it to my attention and to our attention is, and one of the elders in the community here has often quoted in the last year, that it seems that we have largely abandoned organizing outside of the ranks of the conscious African community. And that elder is Baba Malik Yakini. And to me, this seemed like an opportunity to raise the awareness of folks who normally wouldn't even know anything about Kwanzaa because they wouldn't come to the museum celebration if the museum was to hold it, which they didn't. And the community took charge of that and did it themselves, as we should, in the spirit of self-determination over at the historic King Solomon Church. Continue to celebrate Kwanzaa in the tradition that we've been doing. But folks who wouldn't come to a King Solomon celebration or a Kwanzaa celebration anywhere around the city would see this in Campus Martius and get curious and want to know more. And so there's a QR code on the back of this where you can scan with your phone, and it puts them directly in touch with the official Kwanzaa website for reliable information about Kwanzaa. It puts them in touch with the flyer for the historic King Solomon Church celebration. It puts them in touch with what they can buy from local Black women, entrepreneurs, Kwanzaa Kanaras, and kits so that they can participate in the Kwanzaa celebration and get education. So to me, it was an opportunity to organize beyond our small insular group into the larger mass of brothers and sisters and bring them into the culture through Kwanzaa.
I love it. I love it. So let me ask you this. Oh, look at these articles. Let me ask you this. So this is going to be up for how long? When are you all taking it down?
This is going to be up until January 1st.
And
deconstruction will start after this on the 2nd. We will start disassembling it, and then we'll put it into storage, where we can improve upon it, maintain it, and then bring it out next year.
Okay. And that happened. So I know they in the article it mentioned a Christmas tree and a menorah, and so those things are going to be gone too. So they're going to break everything down.
Yeah, everything in Campus Martius breaks down and gets moved around all different kinds of ways. But when Kwanzaa is done, we'll pack the Kinara away and bring it back out next year.
All right. And there was another thing, and before I let you go, because I know we said 12 noon, you got to get out of here. And so there was another thing that I did notice when I read the article, and they interviewed some people there, and they said Kwanzaa's for everybody. It's not a Black holiday. It's for everybody. It's universal, and it's and while I believe that anybody can practice the Nguzo Saba, I don't want them to get it twisted. I think that Dr. Karanga was clear about Kwanzaa being a Pan-African holiday, and he was clear on 3 reasons why he created Kwanzaa. 1, he said because he wanted to reconnect us with our African culture. That's 1. He said 2, to promote relationships or to foster relationships across the diaspora amongst African people. And his 3rd reason, he said to promote and practice principles that will push African people forward. So I just don't want it to get conflated now, because now it's becoming, I've read the article and I saw it. This not a Black thing. It's for everybody.
That's misinformation. That's Kwanzaa is specifically for Black people. The principles, the Nguzo Saba, certainly are universal principles that any and everybody could use to be better. But make no mistake, as you have said here, Kwanzaa is specifically for the sons and daughters of Africa who have been disconnected from their culture and desperately need this in order to have a lifeline to who they really are.
Exactly. And I'm just like, let us have our stuff, man. Like,
Yeah,
don't water our stuff down. You know what I mean? Like the Jews, they have their menorah and their Hanukkah and all of that. Let them have their stuff, but
that's
and
right.
let us have our stuff, as Dr.
That's
Karanga
right.
always says. Allow us to speak our special cultural truth, to the world. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Brother Greg, for coming on. I'm gonna let you go because I know 12 o'clock. You said I gotta be out, and
Before
I thank your wife. Tell your wife I said thank you, because
I
the wife,
will.
he was like, hold
Thank
up.
you for saying that. Thank you
Yes,
for saying that
yes,
because
yeah,
it's a sacrifice that she makes and my other
ab-
family members make when I come out and do the work that I do. But
absolutely.
I want to acknowledge the team that came together to produce this. I want to say their names
Please.
and recognize them in this moment. Brian Cook of Develop Architecture, the architect. Juan Sneed of JMS Engineering, the structural engineer. Stephen Mason of Semi Energy Renovations, the carpenter. Brother John Cloud of Star 9 Art and Design for the specialty woodwork. Um, and toward the end, we had a sister come on, L'Oreal from Kwanzaa Me, um, to give the story more life and more visibility in the social media space. I just wanted to acknowledge those folks. And then we had a tremendous outpouring of volunteers, brothers and sisters who came in the end in those last final days and spent hours with us in below freezing temperatures to
Yeah.
ensure that on December the 26th, this thing would be there for the Black community, to those brothers and sisters, Kwazi Akwamu. Oh, Kojo Lee of Family First Solar. See, when you start naming names, you forget them. But the bottom line is, I wanted to thank and appreciate and acknowledge all of those folks because it was all of them that made this possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so one day, Brother Greg, and if you could coordinate this for me, because I know you're connected to everybody, you're like the glue. And so if one day can we do, and I'm saying one day soon, like before Kwanzaa's out,
Yeah,
because you know how our people are, Brother Greg. After Kwanzaa's finished, nobody's thinking about Kwanzaa. People now we think about it. Now, of course, us in the African centered community, but a lot of folks, once it's over, people move on to something else, right? And so before Kwanzaa is over, maybe on the last day of Kwanzaa, we're supposed to meditate. So I don't know about that. Maybe before the last day of Kwanzaa, if you could ask them if they're available, maybe to come on, like all of these faces. I would love for our people to see their faces. So you heard their names today, family, but I want to see their faces. I want the people to see their faces, and we want to give them their flowers, as my mother would say, while they could smell them. So, Brother Greg, if you could help me coordinate, a day
let's do it.
and a time during the day, preferably, because I start winding down. Uh, I start winding down in the evenings now, since I'm on break. If I wasn't on break, I'd be going hard in the evenings. But now I'm on break, so I try to do a lot of things during the daytime. But during the daytime, it could be the morning, the afternoon. Just all you have to do is say, Dr. Mott, here's the date, here's the time. We come on and we talk about this magnificent project and give each of them the opportunity to talk about their role and responsibility in creating this Kanara. So if you can make that happen for me, that would be great, Brother Greg.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. And send my love to your family, brother. Thank you so much for taking
All right.
time out of your schedule to be with us
What up?
today. Peace and Black power.
All right. Peace, peace.
Peace. All right, family. So, woo, that was powerful, family. That was powerful. We had Brother Greg in the building to talk about, the 30-foot tall Kwanzaa Kinara. And I thought this thing was going to be up all year. So I'm sitting here saying, oh man, I'm gonna get over there in the spring. He's like, nah. This thing is seasonal, as just like the Christmas tree that they erect there, and also the menorah that they erect. So anyway, family, I appreciate that, and I love your Andre Dua. You said, Dr. Ma, you're doing a great job to value our culture. This is the path to the truth as your name. Ashe. I appreciate your word. I saw that your comment in the chat, and it really touched me. As I always state, you all give me the fuel to keep on going live and to keep on getting this information out to our people. And so at this time, family, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Tell me about your thoughts. Tell me about, how do you feel about the largest Kinara being erected in Detroit? And let's talk about that. And let's talk about Ujama. And so I'm going to drop the link in the chat, family. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And while I wait for some of you to come on, I'm going to go right over here to Google. All right, I was Googling the Kinara. Going to go right on over here to Google, and I'm going to type in some Black-owned products that I really want you to support, right? So we're talking about Ujama, right? Tubman batteries. I didn't mean to type in Tubman batteries. All right. There we go, family. So I'm just typing in some Black-owned businesses, some Black-owned products that we can support. You know, we're talking about Ujama, right? Cooperative economics. And so, you know, let's spend our money with Black-owned businesses. Let's stop giving our money to door sell. Some of these brands, Energizer and Doorcell, Tubman batteries, named after our great ancestor, Harriet Tubman. So get your Tubman batteries. Toilet paper. I know a lot of you use Scott, but I'm going to promote Freedom. I think it's called Freedom Paper. Freedom toilet paper. I didn't spell it wrong. Hold on, y'all. Freedom toilet paper. Freedom toilet paper. There it is. This is a Black-owned toilet paper company. So you got Freedom Paper, Freedom Toilet Tissue, okay, or bathroom tissue, as they call it. Says by Freedom Paper Company. Shout out to that brother. I think his name is Kamos. Brother Kamos owns that. So we have our own toilet paper. We can brush our teeth with Coral Oral. Come on, family. We got to get hip now. These are Black-owned businesses that we can create, that Black-owned businesses that we can support. Okay. Toothbrush, toilet paper, Freedom Paper have toilet paper and paper towels and trash bags you can get from them. Tubman batteries. Just throwing out some brands, family. Trying to think, what is the other one? I think it's called Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread, Black-owned. Let me just type that in, man. I'm just typing in some stuff. And you can simply go to We Buy Black. Look at these brothers and sisters. Look at them. These brothers, the founders of First Black-owned Sliced Bread Company. All right. Here it is right here. Here's a picture of it. All right. Black bread. Okay. They got premium wheat and honey wheat. All right. So family, we could be creating. We can be oh man, somebody said rest in power, brother Norman, Freedom Toilet Paper. That's not brother Kamos, is it, sister? Tell me in the chat. I haven't spoken to that brother in a while. Please tell me that brother Norman, is that the dad? Because I met his father. So I met the father and I met the son. The son, he goes by Kamos. So was brother Norman, is that like his legal name, Kamos? Or are we talking about the dad? I actually have a picture of my son posing with the dad, shaking the dad's hand. So Sister Robin, let me know. Let me know in the chat. But family, we can be supporting Black-owned brands and go and head on over to WeBuyBlack.com. It's like a Amazon for Black businesses. We Buy Black. WeBuyBlack.com. They have all sorts of stuff. All right, all sorts of stuff. It's like an Amazon for Black people. Look at this. You can get True Laundry detergent. All sorts of stuff, family, from Black-owned businesses. Look at this stuff. We don't have to keep on giving our money to white folks. You go right here to WeBuyBlack.com. All right, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. All right, family. So we can we can support our own businesses. So maybe for Ujama, try to support a Black-owned business today. You see, I just donated to a Black-owned or organization. It could be a Black-owned business or a Black-owned organization or a person that you know is doing the work. You know, support Black-owned businesses for Ujama. Don't just sit up there and pump your fists in the air. You know, and say, oh, it's Ujama cooperative economics. Let's spend our money with our people. Head on over to edanimateproductions.com. Head on over to edanimateproductions.com. Do you all have Meltrek for the babies? Oh man, talk all this Black stuff, and then your baby's watching Disney all day and Cartoon Network. Meltrek is on Amazon if you want the digital version of it. Let's go here. Let me go in here. So hold on. Let me bring it over here. So the digital version of Meltrek is available, family. Let me just go to Amazon and type in Meltrek. There we go. So if you want to look at the digital, if you want to look at it and you want to add it to their digital library, because some of you say, oh, Dr. Maat, I went to your website. You all are still selling the Meltrek, DVDs. And I'm not doing that anymore. The Meltrek DVDs. All right, you don't have to do the DVD. We have it right here, family. You go right to Amazon and get the digital version of Meltrek. You could also get storybooks and activity books, which teach our children about our history. It teaches our children about our history, family. It teaches our babies about our history. Give them that. Try to so for Kwanzaa, Ujama, spend your money with black-owned businesses, family. Ashe. All right, Ashe. Because a lot of times we pump our fists in the air. Oh, cooperative economics, and you going to McDonald's and Burger King, and you shopping with everybody who don't look like you, and you online talking all this black power stuff. So let's put our money where our mouths is, okay? Where our mouths are. So let me let the sister in the building. I see my sister, BJ Riggs, the Queen Mother. Peace and love to you, Queen. How are you?
Peace and love to you. How are you doing? And it was just a great program, and I love how you're spotlighting Kwanzaa. We need to get back to celebrating our heritage and our foundation. I mean, we lost that. And for a lot of the people going downtown to see that, it will, again, it will open them up and open their eyes and say, I need to know more. How do I invoke this into my everyday life?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just beautiful what the Alakumba, sorry, forgive me, village is doing, because they're sitting there and actually helping the kids, training the kids, teaching the kids, and the unity within that, and we're not getting lost in all this propaganda and this, what everyday existence is trying to push our kids toward a path of destruction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree 200% with everything that you said. And you made a really good point. So you were talking about basically the imagery. And I know that Dr. Kwanzaa Kunjufu and even Anthony T. Browder, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, a lot of them always emphasize, even Dr. Amos Wilson, they emphasize the importance of imagery. And so what you just said was just by people seeing it, they'll say, daggone, I want to know more about this, right? Or how can I incorporate this? Or maybe I might want to celebrate this next year. And so I agree with that. The power of imagery. I didn't think about that when he was talking about it. I was kind of like, well, I wanted to know who did it and why and who was behind it, but we didn't emphasize. And so that's why I love when you come on this platform and drop the jewels that you drop. We didn't emphasize the power of imagery. And what our people seeing this could possibly do. And so thank you for bringing that. Thank you for bringing that.
And even just the scale of it, because a lot of times we're like, oh, look at this, look at that, look how big and beautiful it is. And then, well, ours is so small and tiny, therefore, and we internalize that our customs and tradition has no value. But to see it big and spearhead in the center of everything, because again, Detroit has been a lost city.
Yeah.
No one came to support Detroit.
Mm-mm. And then
when Detroit was falling, I'm not even talking about the white folks. I mean, I'm just talking about our folks did not come. Always had a negative. Oh, Chicago. I'm down in Atlanta. I'm in Cali. I'm in this. Detroit always got the bad rap, and even beyond just us, Detroit was the Paris of the states. Detroit was one of the greatest cities in this nation. Detroit was the only city that had landmass of individual housing, where everyone else went vertical, we went horizontal. And we never valued. And we have to come back to see these things that, yes, we are valuable.
Ashe.
And everybody has, and we have to have a piece of this because we held this city up when the freeways, because again, the first freeway, the first road came through the city of Detroit. And those same freeways destroyed our business district. And we started going eventually north of the city to take care of everything. And I had went to a seminar, and the speaker was saying, so what lands have you been to? I'm thinking, like, what lands? No, I really haven't gone out of the country. You know, I might have went on a little vacation here. He said, no. What lands have you been to? Have you been to Northland? Have you been to Eastland? Have you been to Westland? Because when you go to those communities and shop at the mall, that money is holding up that community. It's paying for their teachers. It's paying for their firefighters. It's paying for their police and all these things. And then we come back home and say, look at where we at. Look how it doesn't look like that, because no one's paying for that but you.
Right.
And then the business district, we have to understand how the propaganda works, how the business works, how hard things structured for you not to succeed, and figure out a way to succeed in spite of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Sister BJ, can you hear me?
You know, oh yeah, I can hear you. And I'm hoping with this.
I don't know if you're going.
I think,
I don't know if you're going in and out.
I
don't know if you're going in and out, or is it just me? Family, is she breaking up?
No,
or is it me? Yeah, I think you're breaking up.
It's starting to break up a little bit now.
Okay, yeah. So you go ahead and finish your thoughts.
Hopefully our youth will start to see this and start to understand their value and their value of their culture and their value of their traditions. Because I know with the 80s really, with all the drugs, ripped our community apart, and we lost so much in that. And because you now have youth who don't have those grandparents and those ancestors around them to tell them, you know, this is what we did. These are our values. These are our morals. They think all that they see is what it was and what it's always been. And it's not. We need to get back to who we are and get back to what we did, and to have pride in the things that we choose to do.
Absolutely, Sister BJ. I couldn't agree with you more. And I see a brother in the chat. I guess his name is Israel or Yasrael. So I know you already lost. So you coming in here and on the Facebook chat and trying to disrupt with your COINTELPRO behavior. And you're saying that people need to read, and you talking about he's a Fed. Brother, you don't read because you're operating with misinformation and malinformation. First of all, misinformation about Kwanzaa, and then secondly, malinformation about Dr. Karanga. But I'm not surprised because you subscribe to a doctrine that you have blackenized and that you're pushing in the community, which is far from the truth. So I'm not surprised that you're not operating with the truth. I'm not surprised, brother. I understand it's ignorance all around us, but I want you to know, while you're calling him an informant and a Fed, you're actually exercising informant and Fed behavior. That you're showing, you're displaying agent behavior. You're displaying COINTELPRO behavior. So a lot of those times, you know, we sit there and we point at people. You got to be, family, you got to be leery of people who always want to expose people, because those are the people who have some stuff going on. You know, when you have people who always want to point and say, look at what this person do, that's to deflect from what they're actually involved in. So, you know, it takes a Fed to know one. So, you know, you're sitting here calling him one, but what are you, brother? What are you? What are you? So I'm leery about people who always throw rocks at folks. You know, and as my grandmother used to say, sweep around your doorstep before you sweep around somebody else's doorstep. Sweep around somebody else's doorstep.
And
sweep
my point
around
is,
your doorstep. Go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
Is while you sit up there judging what he's doing, do you have that same energy for other people in other communities who are doing far worse to us? So if you ain't got that kind of energy for everybody, go sit down in the corner.
This is the BJ ain't got no energy. You got Asian people beating the hell out of black women and children. You don't see none of them Hebrew Israelite fools show up to do anything. They're not doing anything. These women are at gas stations and nail salons getting beat up. I don't see none of those Hebrew Israelites and all that. They not out there with. They went out there for Kyrie. I saw they went out there and they were in front of the stadium supporting Kyrie, talking about we God's army. Well, where's that army when black women are getting beat up and black women and children are getting beat the hell up and murdered in the community? I don't see them go out in droves. You know, I don't see that.
Nope.
I don't see none of it. And like you said, where's the heat for other communities? The Arabs, the Asians, the whites. And a lot of them brothers, they work for white folks. You talking about Karanga, you punch your clock every day and you go work for white folks and you don't give them none of that energy. You go right there, you punch the clock, you say, yes, ma'am. You say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, and no, ma'am to them white folks. You don't give them none of that energy. And Sister BJ, I don't know why I'm telling you, as a people, I remember Dr. Claude Anderson said to me, I saw him twice, once when he came to Baltimore, another time when he came to DC. And I sat down and I talked to him. He said, something is seriously wrong with black folks. Not only did he say it, Baba Dick Gregory said it before he died. Baba Dick Gregory was very bitter before he died. And he said, you know, look at us and just look at us. We got so much heat for each other. You know, we got heat for each other. But man, not anybody else, not no white folks, not Asian folks, you're not Arabs. We don't got no heat for them. But when it's us, boy, we ready to tear each other apart. That is sick.
And that's the mental illness that we start from. How, you know, it just doesn't make any sense because no other group anywhere on this planet rips their own people apart, no matter what atrocious things they do, how deviant they may be.
Yeah, they don't.
They stand by. Well, you know what? We don't air our dirty laundry out amongst people outside of this community.
No, they don't do that.
We handle it in the back room.
Yeah, they don't do that. They don't do that. And then even within that whole Hebrew Israelite sect, you know how many women, they don't want me to do an exposed show. Since you want to throw Dr. Karanga under the bus, don't make me do an exposed show. I know countless brothers and sisters who have left that cult that you all call a religion. It's a cult. Let's be clear on what it is. It's a cult that you are a part of, brother. And it's countless brothers and sisters who've walked away from that cult because of the verbal, physical, and emotional, mental, and spiritual abuse. Don't make me do an exposed show since we want to expose. I can get on my petty train. I'm trying not to get on my petty train. No,
that's not being petty, because the problem is now sometimes we have to just tell the truth.
Yeah.
No matter how ugly it may be.
Yeah.
Because too many people get caught up in believing someone who's really leading them straight to destruction.
Exactly. So he talking all this, I want to expose him. It's a lot of pedophiles. We can look online, Hebrew Israelite pedophiles, pedophilia ones rapid in that community, rape, misogyny, all sorts of stuff. I got receipts after receipts after receipts and could expose you, Yasharel, whatever you go by. I got receipts after receipts after receipts of the rape and the pedophilia and the misogyny that goes on in that sick cult that you all call, you know, a religion or whatever y'all call it, a religious organization.
They pretty much expose themselves, because as soon as you show that you have no respect for women, they're telling on themselves.
Exactly. And the audience said the same thing you said. They said it ain't, you know, it says no petty. Dr. Craig said, you know, let's set the record straight. And Dr. Queen said, yeah, the sexual abuse going on in
and
that
then
cult.
A lot of the men go like, yeah, you're supposed to be in control. No.
Exactly. Oh, Sister BJ, you breaking up.
No matter how much money you have, no matter how smart you are, how many letters you got behind your name, your dirt will surface to the top, just like oil surface to the top of water.
Exactly. Exactly. So I had to put that out there, Sister BJ, because he actually came on the post a couple of days ago, same person, and I honestly think it's a concerted effort to destroy the legacy of Dr. Karanga, but it's not going to happen. So if that's what you all are intending to do, it's not going to happen. Kwanzaa is going to continue from the time he
The
created it
Black
until
Messiah, just like what J. Edgar Hoover was doing in the past. They just hired more of our soldiers to do the dirty work. But again, even then, it was our soldiers who went in and checked up Martin, Malcolm, and every other leader that we had.
Absolutely.
We just, as a people, want to deny that actually be so, after all that we've been through, so vile that we would do something like that. So it's like hard for you to accept the fact that there's a traitor amongst you. And that sat at your table and you broke bread with us. So you just literally feeding your killer.
Exactly. And I agree with Central Station Studios. He said, y'all done gave that agent too much energy already. He right. We'll move on. Let's get back to our Ujama, Sister BJ. Thank you so much for coming on. And I dropped the link in the chat, family, but I see that nobody's coming on. So I am going to close out, but I want to close out with this song that Sister T. Maat, she sent this song to me. And it reminds me, like, I'm a fan of
yes,
a fan of what's the boy name? It's the Afro Beats. He has a lot of songs. No, anybody. What is the name of the song? It's called Anybody. What's the name? Hold on, I gotta. Anybody.
Okay, so
Burna Boy.
Kid or
Burna Boy. Burna Boy. So I listened to that.
DeVito.
No, Anna.
Okay.
Burna Boy, yeah, Burna Boy. So I listened to a lot of his music, and I like the whole Afrobeat sounds. I love the artist is a female. Her name is Tim's. So I love a lot of the music that's coming out of the continent. I remember when I was younger.
Yes,
I remember when I was younger. The only music that, because remember, we didn't have the internet. So to me the closest music that we had that you could kind of hear African culture in it was reggae. It was, and I ain't talking about dance hall. I'm talking about that old reggae, with Bob Marley, Gregory Isaacs, the Wailers, Bunny Wailer and all of them, like that old, Burris Hammond. And so that type of reggae.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the closest we had to African music. But with the advent of the internet, we're able to listen to music on the continent and from around the world. And so the Sister T. Maat sent this video to me called Kinara, and it has like that Afrobeat feel. And so, family, I'm going to play this. I played it at the beginning, but I'm going to play it for the outro. But Sister BJ, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for all that you do. It's so critical and so important. And again, thank you for letting me speak my little spiel. Take care now.
And you do the same. Peace and love to you, my queen. And we'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow just for a few. Check it in on the 5th day of Kwanzaa. So I'll do the 5th and the 6th day. I think on the 7th day, I know that Dr. Karanga asks us to just meditate. And so, yeah, I don't know. I may or may not go live on the 7th day.
I mean, meditate, because we need to meditate and get prepared for this 23, because it's 23 going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But I'll see you tomorrow, beloved.
Okay, take care.
All right, take care. Peace and love.
Bye.
The Queen Mother was in the building, family, but here we go. Always appreciate that, sister. Between 11 and 12.
Let's celebrate Kwanzaa, the way of Egun Omude.
I love this. Thank you so much, T. Maat, for this.
That's Kinara. Let's gather around. That's Kinara. Hey, that's Kinara. Lights the candles on. That's Kinara. Hey, that's Kinara. Shakes the rain all day by the Kinara. Hey, that's Kinara. Life a swear around. That's Kinara.
Our people are so beautiful.
DB, why you do that again?
Moving smarter, the people working harder. Use your dollar for your people's knowledge. We are louder, so stand strong in your power.
Yeah.
Louder, louder, so we sing that Kinara.
Kinara, let's gather round the Kinara. Hey, the Kinara, light the candles on the Kinara. Hey, the Kinara, shakering all day for the Kinara. Hey, the Kinara, drummers play around the Kinara.
Go ahead, y'all.
I wanna light the candle this time. Last year I was a little bit shy. Passing the toast to children now. Test me and see that I memorize. Celebrate our own way now. Valuing our own thing now. Dollar reciprocates now. My ancestors will bring now.
The Kinara, in Google Taba, the Kinara. Hey, say Umoja, mamas and babas teach by the Kinara. You better pay attention and sensitive while round the Kinara. Shh, quiet and listen. I go my man by the Kinara.
They not finished. They're not finished.
Here's to Kwanzaa, all my people in Baba Karenga. The Kikombe champ, Umoja, pass the unity cup and celebrate us. Harambe, put your fist up, chant it 7 times so we can hear ya. Harambe, 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 Harambe. Come on, the Kinara, still to play all day. The Kinara.
Go ahead, y'all. I gotta put this link, family, in the chat. I love this song. I think it's fire. Hold on, let me throw this link in the chat, family. Peace to Sunline. I see you. I see you, brother. Let me see. What was I getting ready to do? What am I doing, y'all? Throw this link in the chat so you can jam. So you can jam with the fam. All right, family, I'm out of here. I'll be here. I'll be live tomorrow, though. I'll be live tomorrow around 11-ish, 12-ish. All right, for what's the next one, y'all? I think it's Nia, right? Is it Nia or Kuumba? Hold on. Somebody tell me in the chat. What's tomorrow? I want to say it's Nia. Tell me in the chat, y'all. Tell me in the chat. I think tomorrow is Nia. I'm up here looking for it. Yep. I was correct. Nia, purpose. All right. So I will be. Oh man, I'm gonna blow that one up, man. You talking about a purpose? Nope, it's purpose. 5 is purpose. I thought it was Kumba too. It's Nia. It's Nia. It's Nia. All right, family. So I'll be live tomorrow around 11ish, 12ish to talk about Nia, to talk about purpose, and we'll be on for about an hour and a half. All right. So peace and Black Power, family. I'll see you tomorrow. Amani na Amandala. Peace and Black Power.